Welcome to the Hurry Up. Kristen, Balboni, Darin, Gantt. Darin, we've been promoted for this episode. We're out on the field. We've got mics. Big deal.
Outdoors, wind's blowing. It's got the hair effects happening.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be in the schedule release video.
Speaking of schedule release, let's go back to that. We saw the schedule for the first time at the end of last week. So what are you circling in terms of the games for this season?
You know, there's a couple things I always look at with schedules, beginning with where am I on Christmas weekend? At home, which is great. But there's that little clump of games, week 8, 9, and 10, where you go Texans, Colts, Bears, and that's the quarterback decision from this spring in a nutshell. It's C.J. Stroud, it's Anthony Richardson, it's Justin Fields, who the Bears felt good enough about to trade the first pick down here. So we're going to see all those factors at play in a short amount of time, and I think it could be instructive. By that time of the year, it's hard telling how many of those guys are going to be playing. I mean, Richardson, the consensus, a lot of people think it might take a little longer, but you never know. He could be on the field by then. You
look at Christmas Eve, I look at bye week. And it's week 7, right before that 3-game stretch. So that'll be a nice little stretch right there. You also mentioned schedule release video. Our digital team, of course, spent months on that. I laughed out loud during the entire thing. What was your favorite part?
In baseball parlance, J.J. Jansen is a 5-tool player. This man can do it all. He hits for power, he hits for average, he runs, he throws, he catches. He can do everything. And I think being able to see how talented that man is really was kind of the key to that whole thing.
That's what the other players, I asked 5 or 6 of them what their favorite part was, and they all said to a person, J.J., but my favorite part was Rory. Come on.
Well, and also Dante Jackson said he thinks him and Jeremy deserve their own spinoff. So maybe next year we can get those two guys a little more involved in that.
All right, also at the end of last week was rookie minicamp. So, Darin, I talked to offensive coordinator Thomas Brown after day 1, which means they had Bryce Young out on the field. They got to see him, got to get up close and personal with him. And I said, what did you think? And he said, look, of course, long way to go to get him to where we want him to be at a certain point in the season. But he said he came away really impressed with a bunch of different stuff in that first day. And he said, ultimately, he is who I thought he was going to be, which is a high compliment from your offensive coordinator. So, Darin, what are they trying to get out of that rookie minicamp, especially from someone like Bryce Young?
I think it's just the introduction to the material. It's throwing all the stuff at him, seeing what different guys retain, not just Bryce, but a lot of other guys on that side of the ball, Jonathan Mingo and a couple others especially, and they just want to see how they retain, and that's the thing Bryce has impressed these guys with. You've heard a number of coaches say in the last couple days, hey, it doesn't seem too big for him. He doesn't seem like he's straining to repeat this material, and I think that's the key for him early on in this process.
And OTAs begin next week, which is exciting. I mean, between that and us being out on the field, it feels like football season is right.
It's football again.
It is. It's right around the corner. What are you going to be keeping an eye on in those first few practices?
I think there's a lot to be settled on defense. And right now with Brian Burns not on the field, there's a lot of questions about the outside linebacker position in general. And I think finding some answers there, whether it's DJ, whether it's Marquise Haynes, Yetur Gross-Matos, who's going to come out of that group and be that other starter. And without Brian on the field, there's a lot of reps for guys to go around. So it'll be interesting to see how some of those guys develop.
All right, that's going to do it for us on the Hurry Up. And Darin, I just want to give a shout out to you because you did a great job with your mic.
Thanks so much.
I
tried to hold it in the right place. I'm kind of new at this, but I have wise counsel.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.